Okay, so welcome to today's session. So Dom and I thought it would be good to start the year off with planning the year ahead and to get into a regular drawing practice and how to go about it. So one of the things that I've learned in the past that I don't do well with 30-day challenges and things that are regular, like every day or every week. I find it difficult to stick to it and to commit to it because there's always interesting things that comes up. So, but this year I am really looking into it, how to change that. And I'm also very passionate about teaching other people to not make the same mistakes that I made. So in the past, whenever I joined a challenge, I mean, you all know about Strata, Easel, and Inktober and those kind of things. And I found it very difficult, even with the prompts, to actually stick to it. So what I'm doing now is to find a way that I can be consistent without being um, too legalistic about it, if I can put it like that. Um, so one of the things that I study is a book that I read a few years back, and it's still very applicable. Is the one of James Clear, and it's called Atomic Habits. And then in December, I got hold of this lady, Emily's notebooks, and she actually gave me a lot of hope to be more consistent because she actually pinpointed where the problems lie. So in the past, I would say I want to be better at drawing, but then I struggle to find a time or topics, or I wasn't clear on my goals. So she actually says that if you want to have a drawing practice, that if you're uncertain or you lack clarity, it kills the consistency, which I think makes a lot of sense. So to create a system that is made for you, you have to know yourself. So for me, I know that I actually need people around me. I need to be part of a group, or I need a body double. So that means I have to invite people to draw with me or to join a session with me. And I have to have a clear focus. Because if I wait until I've got motivation, I won't be able to draw. So to work within constraints, which we don't like, really reduces overwhelm. So in my case, um, I've I've thought if this is my constraint, I've got my pencil case, and this is what I have in my pencil case, and I only have these to choose from, and I can make it less. I mean, I don't have to fill it up with that much. I could only have, say, my watercolors in it like this, with only those colors there, and I've got my travel brushes. My travel brushes are in here, and I've got my water container. That's all I'm going to take with my fountain pens and maybe a pencil like that. That already is enough. And then also just one sketchbook. Now, what I like about that is that's your constraint if you think about it. So with these kind of sketchbooks that I have, I've put in different kinds of papers and then just bound them so that I have a variety of papers, because it's always difficult to choose a sketchbook that will, suit all your needs. So that's my constraints. So I have one sketchbook with a lot of different papers, and then I have a pencil case. So that is one of the constraints, because that reduces the decision making. And if you can reduce any friction that will distract you, that helps. So for me, that is to set a timer. I have to set a timer for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and get myself just to do those few minutes. Because if I do that, then I know there's a beginning and an end. And often that motivates me. So that gives me momentum, and then I want to work more. So, and also for me, it's important to have some sort of rhythm. So I always start with blind contours because there's no pressure of performing with that. So these are all contour drawings. that I've done with aquarels, and that actually works very well for me. Just to do contour drawings to start off with that. First blind, then with double contours where you use both your hands and you draw at the same time. Those are like a go-to for me. So if you have a few go-tos, it really helps to make your decisions easier for yourself. Then also to just show up regularly, and that doesn't mean every day necessarily, but say what I normally do is I say at least once a month I need to join a group and go and sketch with them. At least once a week, I've got people coming to paint with me or to come and draw with me. And that doesn't count for the vacations and things. So for me, that's being consistent. So it's not it's doable. So to build a habit, I don't strive for perfection, and I focus on the process rather than the product. For me, that is quite important. And have one habit at a time. So don't try a bit bite off more than you can chew. Okay. The other thing is to actually set up your environment to reduce friction. So that's why this is my go-to. As I said, I have this to go to. I've got two different pencil cases. The one has got different materials in the to this one. So my choice is between this one and the other one. As I said, I've got a lot of interest, so it makes it very difficult to stick to one thing. Okay, so here's to make your habits very easy. Like 2 minutes or 4 minutes, just when you have very little time, and to be very clear about the goal. So don't wait to be motivated. When you have started, it often gives you the momentum, and prime your environment is the other one that I've written down here. So what I thought is I'll give you this information on the group so that you can actually go through it. And here I also said invite a friend to work with you, join a group, do workshops. I do workshops often. Even if I know the medium, it still gives me the incentive to actually go and sit and work. And even if I know more than the person that presents the class, I always learn. The weird thing, I always learn from them. And it also gives you the opportunity to feel what it feels like to be a student as well. There's some very nice online prompts and classes, but the I think one of the tricks is that sometimes I overcommit. So, sometimes I feel bored and then I write write, what do you call it, subscribe to classes too often. I mean, I get so excited about it, but then I don't have time to do it because then real life happens in between, and then I feel bad about not being able to commit to that. So now I'm training myself not to feel bad about it, just to say I've learned from this. It actually doesn't work for me. So I must be very careful to overcommit to classes. Okay, here I've said I have my pencil case ready and sketchbook ready and set up constraints. So the first constraint is the medium that I'm going to use. So you can actually say, I just want to use pens for this month. I'm going to use monochrome so when I pick up something, it's going to be monochrome, it's going to be a fountain pen or just water-soluble graphite, and I'm going to work for a period of time. Now, it doesn't have to be a month, it can be a week, doesn't matter if it's a year or whatever, but the idea is to have some constraints because that makes your decisions easier. And then the topics. If you want to draw from life, now my go-to is something that I always have and I love doing is to actually draw cups. I have a nice excuse to buy some new cups because I mean you have to have a variety to make it more interesting for you. And you can really study all your art practices with this cups. So, but I mean it depends on what excites you. Then, so that's the topic. You could also just start to do photographs. Done that before, where I focused on, and I think it's in this drawing book that I focused on. It's not in this one, but it doesn't matter. Where I've just taken buildings and I decided to just do drawings from buildings. This one was just monochrome, and it was done with my water-soluble fine liners, and it really is very nice to have, say, a what is it? Yes, a series of sketches in a specific medium. So it helps to limit yourself. And then also the book. I think because that's another thing that's difficult for us is to choose a book and then to stick with it. But so for instance, this one, I've now chosen to do all my color swatches. I find it sometimes a little bit too small for me to draw in, so I use these for all my new stationery that I buy, and then I do my color swatches in this one, for instance. So it's also nice to just go back. So that's something that one can do without thinking. So it doesn't require any skills or anything. So when you have a slow day, that is what you can do, is just try out your stationery that you've got, all the watercolors and crayons and everything that you have. So the aim is to be able to draw better this year. It's my for better drawing. It means I have to be very clear on what I'm going to practice. The first one is to be regular in my drawing practice. And with, as I said, it doesn't mean it has to be daily. It can be, you can say at least 4 times a month, at least once a week, or whatever the case may be. Because that leaves it a little bit open for you. As long as it's better than it was before. And then also, I want to draw from observation. So for me, that is important to actually draw from observation. And so that's what I'm going to practice to get my observational skills better. And I know content drawings is one of the ways to do that. So the goal is consistency, but not perfection. All right. And the two people that I spoke about was Emily's notebook. I can't pronounce her surname. It's Moncuit, Emily Boncuit. And I really like the way she writes. So she sends out regular emails where I got this ideas from. And she says consistency can break down because there's too many decisions left open. And the questions you could ask yourself is, what should I draw? How long should I spend time on it? Am I practicing the right thing? So, and what actually matters right now? So, and be very, what is realistic? Yeah, be very realistic about what you want to achieve. Environment, I think, is very important. So a lot of people don't have specific studios that they can actually work in, but I've spoken to people that have very limited space, and they will say get into the habit of drawing in cafes, or they would draw in at a specific table, at the dressing table, the dining room table, and then make your kit so easy to use, so that you don't need a lot of things. So if you are really serious about drawing, then that's one of the things that you can work on is your environment to set it up. I do have a very nice big studio, but sometimes that's also overwhelming in a sense because there's too many distractions. So often it helps me to actually go out with a group like the Urban Sketchers and join them and sketch with them, or with an in plein air group. And a nice thing is to be part of a art society. There's lots of societies that you can belong to. That also helps because there are people like-minded and have similar challenges that we have to get started. So you have to sort of identify where the friction is, because that erodes momentum and your motivation. So she also says consistency is a design or a system problem, not a personality flaw. And I think we often get that wrong, because I think what Dan Clear always says, you have to connect your identity to that. So instead of saying, I want to draw better, say, I am an artist, and because I'm an artist, I want to draw better. So it's a different way of looking at it. One of the things that I found, like specifically this year, when I took part in the exhibition, I had a merit exhibition that I had to take part in, and I really don't like painting for exhibitions. It puts too much pressure on me. So that's something that doesn't work for me. And I don't want to take part in big exhibitions where you just produce and produce and produce, and the aim is to sell. And I actually don't like it. I like to learn, and I like novelty. So if I can consistently through the year produce work, I thought this year I'm really going to try that. So if I can produce consistently through the year, I can then pick from those to exhibit, which makes it a lot more easy for me, because you cannot perform at your best with every single painting. I think that's one of the things that we need to change our minds about, is that whenever you start something, it has to be perfect. I'm a great believer in practicing and exercising, uh, so that you can get better at it. So that's what my focus will be for this year. Other thing I wanted to show you is what I normally do with and I think Sudan will say a lot more about this, is that I like this where I can see a whole month ahead. And in the beginning of my calendar, I put this little bit over here, a little envelope where I can put this in. This one is for getting all my subjects for videos that we are going to make this year. So you'll see this is color mixing, color wheels, prompts for sketch work, groups where people can stay, get that people can join, buddy systems, how to study a subject. We did this one now, how to plan your art practice, finding what you like and what you do instead of what you have to do, how to create rhythm, what mini habits can you have. So I just keep on writing it down when I have ideas, and then I just put it in there. And then this one is for the workshops that I want to present. So I went back to the past and I looked at workshops that I've given that I've really enjoyed, and I put those on. And if I get new ideas, I'll put that on there as well. So I've already got like a library of ideas there. But then I also make use of my sticky notes. So this year I've said I'm only going to work in pencil in this book, because my ideas change so much, and things change so much that I have to be able to erase it. So these ones, the sticky notes, I actually use to plan my workshops. So if something changes, I'm able to move it. So, and I write down in pencil the first workshops I'm going to give. And then throughout the year, I've done that, because my goal is to have 2 workshops a month. So that already gives consistency. There you can see I've already put down the dates, but at this stage it will be movable. So because there's things happening in between, workshops come up that I want to attend, or like this one, there's an urban sketching that's happening at the same time. I've already put in all my holidays, but I think it's important to be able to do that. And it's sort of changeable. So if you write, say, on your sticky notes, I want to draw cups. And first thing is just say I want to practice my watercolor skills. I'm going to do watercolors. And my subject is going to be cups, watercolors, and I want to do it at least, say, once a week. Okay. So there's 4 or 5 weeks. So I'm going to then put this on the dates that I think I will be able to, I can look at my calendar and say, okay, this is when I have a body system here where I know on the Monday people are coming here to paint with me. So then I will put there, I'm going to practice my watercolors right there. Okay, and then if I have 4 of them, I can paste all 4 of them. Okay, so then I can decide, okay, this week we want to do it on the Thursday, because maybe I've got let me do it on this week, say for instance. I'm going to have a workshop here, so I need to prep for the workshop. So those are going to be taken up by prep for the workshop. And it's not going to be the cups, so I need to find another day where I'm actually going to practice my cups. So I can actually put it down there. And I'm every now we can change it. So I'm just going to write cup there because already I know. And then the next one, say after these, this week I'm actually going to skip because it's a very busy week. And I've already got a practice going on there. So I'm not going to be rigid. I'm going to say, okay, there I can resume my practice on the Monday. So I've got 3, which is I'm quite happy about. Okay, that gives you an idea what one can do. All right, I hope that helps a bit, and I'll put the prompts or the questions that you can ask yourself in the chat, not in the chat, yeah, on the art chat group. Okay, I hope that helps. Over to you, Saddam. Some comment from Lorenzo. Break up some different paper types into your drawing book. Yes, that works very well. Also agreed about painting for the exhibition for sales sake. Yes. Yes, yes. It is actually quite difficult to do that. What I forgot to mention is like this book I bought specifically to practice with my gouache, because gouache is one of the new mediums that I bought actually to do a course in, but now I've got the material, so I thought I just want to mention that. So remember last year when Marley gave us that lesson in watercolor mixing, the color mixing. She used the iris products. So I bought the gouache of that. So for me, this is the first thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to do a what do you call it, a color swatch of all my gouache. And then I'm actually going to use just the iris gouache and see how it works on the brown paper, because it's an opaque medium, so it actually works well. And I want to work with, learn how to work with gouache. And I can use the same topic. So if I choose the medium, this is the medium, and the topic will say be a cups again, to stick with the topic. And the time I'm going to do that is, say, on a Monday morning when I have my friends over that come to the place with me. I do need a body double. Like, I find that once you've started and you've done it, if you've actually got momentum to go on, that's the other thing. It's a strange thing, but it works for me. That when people are here, you almost committed to actually get started. I mean, I can't remember how many times my friends have come here and I'm still in my pajamas and I think, oh my gosh, I better get going. And then you do, and you really enjoy it, even if you don't have the energy at first. The energy comes when the people are here. So that's how I operate. So you have to find how you operate and find a way for your practice as well there. Okay, over to you, Sudan. Okay, thank you.
To this computer. Okay. So welcome back, everyone. And sorry about the technical challenges. We always have technical challenge. You should know us by now. So I'm so sure I'll show you guys. I don't think I'm gonna talk too long. Maybe if I can push to 15-minute talk, and then other 15-minute, maybe all of us can think about what kind of art goal that we want to achieve and start sharing on the chat Or you can share it on your odd chat later, or you can share it in a Zoom meeting. So maybe we can start think about that while I'm having a talk while I'm talking to myself. So I'm sure you guys last week December, not last week December, what was the thing again? Last month's meeting that showed this planning called mandala art. So you break down your six goal that you want to achieve for 2026 or whenever, and then you break it down to the subcategories. I did set up my goal. Hopefully some of you guys already set up your goal now. I'm going to just focusing on the drawing sessions. My goal is pretty much same like Sonia. I also want to improve my drawing. But within the drawing, there's a different category, right? Like which aspect of drawing do you want to improve on? So I ask myself that question. So I want to improve that, that fish eye perspectives. I didn't achieve it last year, so this year I want that to happen. So that's why I add the 6 point perspective. We know where the whole perspective is a little bit like a looking from the fish eyes perspective. So that's what I want to improve on. And I also want to improve on moving people. So those are my very specific topic that Sonia was talking about earlier. And I want my drawing to tell a little bit more story instead of just technical aspect to it. It needs to tell some sort of storytelling aspect to it. And it can be something physical goal. Like I want, because there's so many unfinished sketchbooks in my house. I mean, I'm so sure. So a lot of you guys ended up buying pretty sketchbook, but it's just there, sitting there, dusting. So this year, my goal is to finish that 10 sketchbook that I didn't manage to finish. Some of them are halfway through and some of them just 10-page completed. So this year, I'm gonna tackle down those 10 sketchbooks specifically. And then compositions. How am I going to improve the compositions? So those are the things that I need to think about as well. And then I want to get back to some of the digital art. So I have iPad, so I want to draw a little bit more. And the last one, I haven't thought about it, so I will fill it up as I go. You don't always have to fill up all of them. Whatever that whatever that actually comes in the, you can just mute your laptop. Okay, I'll help you. Muted. Yes, okay. So you can just fill it up as it comes. We don't have to fill up all this block down there. So those are the main subcategory goal for me. But now this goal needs to be very specific now. So in order for me to, like, for example, like mastering the moving people, what are the subtasks that I need to do? That's why I like to break it down some of the tasks that I need to do, like stuff like moving people. Well, what kind of moving people do I want to master? May I want to actually draw the musicians, street musicians. So they're all moving musicians. And also people walking on the street. So you can actually break down the goals, your sub goal, a little bit more specific. So it can be a little bit more achievable, something you can actually follow through. I mean, you can use whatever that work best for you. I'm just gonna make it into bullet point. And then what are the other stuff that I can do? Maybe I definitely want to go to like maybe like a sports event and sketch those sports people. So those are the sports event sketch. And then my other plan, I also want to go to the courtroom and then sketch people. Those people's in the action. So those are the moving people that I want to capture. So now I have this. What are the elements that I need to break down into? I'm just going to make it another subcategory. So I like being very specific when I'm trying to achieve certain goal. I like to be very specific so I can be a little bit more encouraged to finish. For example, like let's go for something like street musicians. I need to, in order for me to better draw those musicians, I need to build up some sort of like a muscle, drawing muscle that's focusing on how does musician actually normally pose. Yes, they are moving. So challenging of moving people, they don't stay still for you. So you need to build up some of the drawing muscle that related to the certain pose, certain gesture. So that's where I can maybe a little bit more narrow down how I'm gonna exercise. So what I can do is first is that I'm going to sketch or draw street musician picture. The purpose of this is to build up some basic understanding of the musician pose. Because believe it or not, pose is quite generic. It's actually a lot of people has a certain, like how we perceive certain people with a certain look and feel. Pose and gesture also has that. That's why I don't have a lot of, memories of people's, drawing the people playing instruments. You know how the guitarist play guitar has a different hand gesture compared to people who using the flute or like a, other instrument. So I can actually practice that from the pictures. So now that is something that I can tackle specifically. Once I know I build up those basic memories of the how musician pose, the drawing poses, then I can start practicing through the video. That's what I really want to do. Like I'm gonna watch the video of musician and sketch on live. So sketch musician playing on live through YouTube video. So now you can see from the initial goals of moving people to street musicians and how I'm going to draw the street musicians. I'm going to sketch and understand the basic gesture of musician. And then, because I want to draw on location. I don't want to draw from the picture but that's not it's never been my practice. So I will first practicing by understanding through the gesture from the video. So I get a little bit more comfortable. I don't know if it's going to be useful or not, but I'll test it and let you know. So it helped me a lot when I was sketching the people walking on the street. Because first I understand how the people walk, and then second, then I play the video of like 5 minute video, random video, and people walking, and then I have to sketch it quickly. And then it helped me to build up that muscle memory. So help me to, oh, how does people walk? So I can draw this way. So even though that person walked past me, I can still complete my drawing in a more or less in a way that I can understand. So now I have this two goal. I'm at the stage one where I need to build up the basic musician pose. So this is the way I will actually I don't use a lot of uh drawing. I mean, I don't plan a lot on paper. I actually plan digitally. This is more, I normally like to use this for my graphic design work. So for example, this was my January. I didn't do a lot of drawing for January because I had to update my skill. So let's just for example, like I had this scholarship coming, it's called Warrior Art, where you can actually you submit your portfolio and then if you were lucky, I didn't get it by the way. I got an email today said, oh, you didn't get it, but thank you for joining. But there was a scholarship happen. So what I did was that I'm gonna break down my task because I need to have at least 10 artwork that needs to be put it into portfolio. And so I decide to spend first, seconds, and fourths, and fifths and sixths that on focusing on curating my artwork so I can actually put it into one portfolio. And then I gave myself 2 days to compile all this work to final portfolio. And then I did submit it on Friday. The actual deadline was 10th of January. So because I don't want to work on Saturday. So I make sure it's red. So it's my break day. So this is how I normally plan out when I have a client work. So even like something like this EDT, I know there's a lot of short some key code there. That is the module that I had to teach for someone of the college. So in order for me to do that, I also need to recap it. So I'm gonna take 4. How many days is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 days to master this module. So I need to study the WordPress, and then I gave that amount. And after that, I think this week is the way I need to start developing the lesson plan for that module. So To me, this is something that works for me. It might not work
Okay,
for
no,
you.
okay.
Because everyone is different, but make sure you need to give yourself a break in between. Because last year I did burn out quite easily when I decided to work on Saturday and Sunday. It didn't work out that well. So I decided to always give at least 1 day break. So that needs to be something that I plan it up. And you can see there's a stuff that I also do, like volunteer work, or maybe I want to do this urban sketch. There's a this week Sunday we have a sketch meetup at the Breeze Street. Feel free to join us at 10 a.m. So whole Breeze Street is actually blocked out, and there's a lot of creative activity gonna happen. So I make sure that I'm available on 18, and I give myself a break on 25th. And 31st, we got a Northern Suburb sketch meetup by the Onsweet? Am I saying? Onshasi, yeah. So it's gonna be nice beachy area down there. So let me go back to my other goal that I had, the one that drawing the people. So let me just copy that. Copy, and then I'm gonna go back. So maybe that moving people goal gonna happen until March. Because this is something that I do it on my free time. So I want to give myself at least enough time. And drawing takes time. Be a little bit more realistic. So by the March, I want to be able to sketch musician playing through the YouTube video. So in here, maybe on the street musicians, I'm gonna put this maybe end of the February. I want to at least have maybe you can even add the number. Maybe I can complete one sketchbook. One sketchbook, full of it, full of sketch, full of this musician's drawing. Or it can be something, be a little bit more specific. I will say 10 pages. It is up to you. I need to push myself a little bit more, so I'm gonna get that one sketchbook things happens. Because to me, I also need to finish that 10 sketchbook that's stacking in my house. So that will also help my other goal that I need to do. So I will go to my February because I'm not gonna work on this drawing in Jan. Let's just say I'm going to add. So this my January is not, I haven't planned a lot on February yet. So by end of this, I want to have one sketchbook full of musician drawing. So but let's give ourselves deadlines. Yeah, I'll work on deadline because I'm a graphic designer by nature. So it is something that unfortunately I had to do it. I have to use to. So this is my deadline. Complete one sketchbook full of musician drawing. I can actually put it into, you can see I haven't, you can see I don't use MacBooks a lot. I'm gonna leave it like this for now. And then in order for me to complete, let's just say this sketchbook has about 50 pages. I mean, I don't normally take too long to draw. I always set myself a timer to do that because it's all about the speed. So let's just say it's 20. I'm not going to say 20. I maybe said I'm going to divide in 25. So you just need to do two pages per day because I want to give at least 25 days to complete this deadline. So drawing needs to be more or less done. 50 pages completed here. So every day I'm gonna do two drawings. So from Monday, so two drawings, 2 pages drawings every day. I'm gonna just use this arrow for now. And then the arrow can continue until down there. You can see I don't use this a lot. So I'm just gonna create this and then red. And you can use the diary that Sonia was using. Wait, this should be thick. Just gonna make it thick. Why are you doing this to me now? It is true that I learned that MacBooks don't is not really compatible with Word document. Shape format, there is it. Why can't I fill it in? There is it. 3. So this yellow guideline will just help me. And then should be. Why can't I do this? Oh, there is it. So until here, maybe I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that's fine. So until here, I should have at least no, until here, sorry. That I should able to have 2 pages of that musician drawing poses as well. And I'm thinking to myself, you don't always, you can't just draw. In order for you to learn and improve, you also need to review yourself drawing. So every Friday, I'm gonna actually have a drawing review, drawing crits. It sounds very rough, I mean harsh, but it's not. Drawing crits. So it just helps you to check yourself whether you are actually improve. What are the area that you can improve? We need to study our drawing every day. And that's the only way for us to improve our drawing, I think. You need to self-regulate yourself. What am I doing wrong? Or what is the I mean, it could be also something like, oh, actually ended up liking the line that I draw. So how can I duplicate this again? And then here, 25, I'm gonna 25 and 26. This is a session that I'm gonna evaluate whether I did improve or do I need to continue a little bit more. There's one more shape, and I'm just going to draw down here. And then so that you can use any color that you like. It's up to you, whatever works best for you. And then here, I'm going to also add here final evaluation to decide whether I should complete, should I continue should I do more, draw more, or move to YouTube. Drawing practice. I'll normally use very short keyword, and that at least, even though whether you're happy or not, at least you complete one sketchbook, which already ticked my box. And then in the March, I will probably, if I'm not happy, I'll give myself extra 10 days. But normally I should normally be able to move on and said maybe from here, I'm gonna start drawing shape, please. And I'm gonna actually focusing on getting the YouTube, actual practice of the moving people. I'm gonna focusing on drawing the moving people. That's what I'm gonna do. So wait for, come on. I'm gonna change the color to green. And then I can here start drawing moving musician from YouTube. I will also set myself true drawings, 2 pages per day. And then I will also set the deadline until end of the March. Because remember that I want this practice to be done by end of March. Oh, someone is making very cute noise. And give yourself enough time, because this is something that you don't have to, even if you don't and finish it, that's also perfectly fine. But 2 pages a day, it sounds very durable to me. And even if you miss that one day, you can actually catch it up on next day, because it's not impossible. So I'm gonna give myself deadline here. I can also set maybe 50 pages done. Sketchbook. On sketchbook or whatever. So I will do exact same thing, like drawing crits every Friday or every Thursday, and make sure we are off on weekend. Don't have to draw on the weekend.
So then you go silent book club.
Yeah, like silence book club. So yeah, so that's how I will stack it up and achieve our drawing. Because last year I wasn't very specific of how I'm gonna achieve my goal. And I didn't do a lot of drawing last year, so I really need to improve on it. So that's how I would plan out my stuff. Yo, I thought I can give people more time to think about it, but it seems like we are running out of time. Anyone has questions or anyone want to share what your art goal is gonna be like for 2026? I can unmute everyone. Yeah, but it's also I kick the people out of the bed. But you know what? Since this session is recorded, what's gonna happen is that we can actually share it in our art chat.
Yes.
Everyone should more or less have their 2026 goal. I mean, it's must. It's like a homework.
Yeah. Was there anything that we shared that was helpful?
I don't know. It's also kick it. Done?
Can you hear
Wait,
me?
maybe I mute. Sorry, John. Are you speaking? I mean,
I'm speaking, but I don't know what to tap. Where? Oh gosh, hang on. Oh, let me see. Can you hear me? I don't know what I'm doing.
You don't have to know what you're doing. You can just speak.
Oh,
It's
what have I
fine.
done?
Nothing wrong.
Sorry.
You haven't
I,
you haven't done anything wrong.
I can't get.
Can
Oh,
you
you can hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, you can hear. Okay. I've really found that so helpful. So thank you both, because they both had a lot of ideas, and also it's taken me even further into thinking how I can break down into my my gardening, my cooking, my herbs.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
actually,
I'm going to make a plan around there. It might. I feel like I'm back at work though, with all the structure, which actually does work. Time management. It does work.
Yeah.
So thank you. Really, it was very, very helpful.
Yeah.
John, are you gonna join us on next week Saturday? No, is it next week Saturday? End of Saturday.
I can't remember.
31st.
Oh, the 31st.
Ons huis.
We're going to ons huisie at Blouberg so that we
Oh
can
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We probably sketch the beach.
Yeah. Whatever is there.
Yes, I will. Yeah.
So,
Oh, lovely.
Heidi and Barbara and Vanessa, do you have anything to contribute?
Just to say that I love the structure. Sorry, we're all speaking at the same time. Love the structure. It was a good reminder that, our art needs to be as structured as the rest of our life. I laughed a little when Joan said it made her think of work. It does, it does feel a bit like work. But I also feel like if you don't give it the attention it deserves, it's, get the attention that's left over, which is very rarely any. So thanks for that. And I really appreciate it, Saddam, your breakdown of the 6 blocks, and then going down into the granular detail of practically what does this mean? And if I say I want to practice this skill, I want to build this skill, practically what steps am I going to take and how am I going to get there? And it was good. And I've seen you sketch on location or sketch live, and you're so quick. And it was useful for me to just to know that you practice using still sketches and YouTube videos and things like that. And this, it sounds silly, but that's something that I've now added to my plan as well. It's one of my goals is to catch likeness quicker this year, and it's interesting to pick up little tips. So thank you so much. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any other things that you find that is difficult to, like your environment or things that have previously stopped you from doing things?
Hello, Saddam. Can I speak?
Yes, we
It's
can hear you.
Barbara, yes. So thank you. That was the first time I've attended, because it's many years since I've done any drawing, and I met you at the swimming pool. The two of you. Yes, so I just want to give you a reminder that on Saturday, the Rust and Freda are doing an opening of their exhibition. I don't know if you ladies are going to
I'm
come.
going. My friend is exhibiting there.
Yes.
Oh,
One of his
lovely.
work will be
Yeah.
there, so I'm just like,
So I've got a friend over from Canada and she's going to be there. I will also be there. Yeah.
oh, I'll see you there then.
Great.
Yes, lovely. Okay, thanks very much for your tips. Now I know where to start. It's all about structure.
Mm. Looking forward to see
Lovely.
your goal.
Oh, none yet because I'm still too busy doing my other work. But yes, I'll plan something.
Mm.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining, everyone.
Can
Okay.
I ask one more question?
Yes.
It's very greedy of me, I know. Something that I struggle with is how to pivot. If you set a goal, Sonia Amsterdam, and you realize halfway through, oh snap, this is not going to stick, or I'm struggling with, I find it very demotivating. I set a goal for last year, for example, to paint a certain number of mini works through the year, and I realized at some point I'm not going to get to my goal, and I find it very demotivating. How do you, if you find you have to pivot or make a change, how do you do that in a way that doesn't derail the process completely? I don't know whether this is the right forum to address, or maybe we take it out on the art chats, but that's a challenge that I found with my goal setting is obviously when you miss a goal, it's very, it's leersaam is the Afrikaans word. I don't know the English word, but
Get my
it's
card.
informative. That's also an Afrikaans word. Nice of them. No, but it's informative because it tells me something about the goal that I set, right? And whether or not it was the right goal. Maybe I structured my process incorrectly. I know, Sonia, you're a big fan of looking at your process first and then saying, okay, what can I tell about you? But I missed my goal. It is a goal that I set very publicly. So the egg is now firmly set into my face. And I'm trying to in this year set goals that are more realistic, but also be not less hard on myself when I do miss goals. It doesn't end up being demotivating, that it ends up being only informative and a learning experience rather than a, oh my word, let's dig a hole, get in and then get out kind of thing. How do you do that? Is my question.
Well, that's something I regularly struggle with and I've struggled with in the past as well. Is setting goals that were actually not my own goals. It was things that I think I should be doing. So I should be able to do this, or I should be able to, because I'm an artist, I should be able to produce more consistently. I should be more productive. I should be motivated. I should be inspired, and I'm not. So I had to find ways. Well, the first thing is to be kind to yourself. And yeah, like I said, I would start with, say, start a easel challenge, and then 5 days in, I'm done. I'm over it. And then I've done it publicly. And then you know what? I found that nobody actually cares except you.
Yeah.
One thinks that other people will care and judge, but they actually don't. They don't care. They really don't. And say, for instance, the Inktober, I think, was one of the things that was really challenging because I thought, I'm really committed to this. We got a nice presents to go with it. Right Gear sponsored us and gave us some nice presents. So, I mean, we had a lot of motivation starting out, and then life happened. And then you started doing drawings like 5 at a time, and then we got together and said, oh, we better build a sketchbook. And afterwards, I thought, okay, what have I learned from it? Besides the fact that I don't like challenges like that, that is very regular, is that I've learned that I have to really be very clear about why do I want to do this? Because why do you want to have 10? Why do you want that specific amount? Because the other thing that goal setting does is when you've set a goal, and that's where the identity actually comes in. And that's something that James Clear taught me, is when he said, if you say, and one of the things that I really struggled with, and I'll tell you from personal experience, is when I wanted to become a fellow at the Art Society. And I really worked very hard to become a fellow. So you had to produce good work, and everything was focused on that. And when you got bad marks, it was you took it very personally. So eventually I got to be a fellow. And straight after that, it was such a downer after that. I struggled because it puts pressure on you, because now everybody's in my mind, everybody's watching you. Every piece of work that you do, people are going to think, oh, but this is rubbish. Why can she's a fellow and she's producing work like this? So this is from personal experience. And it actually got me to a very low place. And the weird thing is, when I spoke to other fellow artists, they had the same thing. I saw it every so often, that people will reach that goal and then they have like a down. And what James Clear says is that don't make that your goal, because once you've reached it, you like, say for instance, you exercise for a specific marathon, or a specific, like my son would practice for a specific marathon. Now you've run the marathon, now you stop exercising because the marathon is gone. Why not tell yourself, I want to become a better artist? And that's what I'm doing now, is that I want to become a better artist, better at what I'm doing, because I'm enjoying being an artist, rather than have that goal to be, let's say now, a senior fellow, for instance. I want to become a senior fellow, but it's no longer my goal. So my goal is to become a better artist. And if that happens to come along my way, and I take my work and it does get judged, I know now that I have to be happy with the work. And I have to be, say for instance, you want to do, what was your goal? Like 10 small miniature paintings. How clear were you about your goal in that regard? In, say, what do you want to achieve with 10? Why 10? So is the amount so important? I mean, for Saddam, that's a full-time artist. I can understand that she wants 50 drawings, or she wants to do that. And it works for her, but it doesn't work for me. It will not work
Yeah.
to say I'm going to fill up all my sketchbooks, because that already is a goal in itself. It doesn't bother me anymore. I used to say I want one sketchbook just with, say, black and white drawings. I want a sketchbook just full of buildings. It never worked because my brain doesn't work that way. So you have to go with how, and rather understand yourself and learn from that. And comparison is one of the worst things, because I admire, say, Beth Lowe. I really admire her. And
Yeah, me too.
so I
Sure.
really, really admire them. And I studied them and how they work. And she works outside. I mean, I've gone to her workshops. I've asked her, how do you actually manage to have such a consistent art practice? This is my easel is always ready. I can just pick it up and I can go. It's part of her routine, but she can also work on her own. I can't. She likes being outside in the sun. I don't. So I cannot be that artist. So Janneke Strydom, for instance, I love her work, and she grows as an artist so quickly. I absolutely admire her work and her tenacity with being so disciplined. I want to be disciplined, but my brain doesn't work the same way as theirs. So I have to make peace that I do a lot of other things that they actually don't do. And I only see what they show us in public. So I don't know what sacrifices they had to make for that. I'm not prepared to do those sacrifices. I don't want to sit in the sun and paint outside. I actually don't like
I
it. If there's
I
not a
literally do not have enough
possibility-
melatonin in my skin to do it.
exactly. That's the thing. So I don't want to do it. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
One has to be very realistic in this regard. And the things that I've
it
struggled
needs.
with my whole life is to
Mm.
compare myself with others that I admire. And I think you see the products that people produce. And I mean, even if I look at the work that I've accumulated over the years, I'm actually quite surprised, because I always think I don't work enough. I'm not productive enough. I don't do enough. I'm not good enough. Those are like my default settings. So I have to review it's now the last few years that I've come to review the work. And I said, but you know what? Can I change my mindset about how do I think about it? A positive mindset, and say, how many of those miniatures did you finish in the end? Were you happy with any of them? Because you can make them, but you're not happy with any of them. But if you make
Mm.
one and you're very happy with it, then it's wonderful.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I think that's from my personal experience, I think one has to reframe the way you think about things
Mm.
and
Yeah.
comparing yourself to others. You have to understand how you work. And I've made peace with it that I need people to work with me. If I can demonstrate to people, and for instance, this holiday, my son's in-laws, they pressure me a lot to say, why don't you sell your work for more? Why don't you paint more? And one night I actually woke up and I thought, you know what? I know why I don't ask more, because when young people buy my work, it's because they can afford it, but it's going to be valuable to them because it's the only work that they've actually got, original work, and they could afford it. Where a rich person might even
Mm.
buy that, and it's one of his 100 paintings, and they couldn't care less for it. So for me, that's what matters. So you have to know what matters to you.
Mm. Yeah.
I don't want to be a
Mm.
commercial artist. I don't want to be put into a specific medium and be every now and then I think I want to be very good at oil paints, but then I get bored.
Mm.
Then I have to change.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's actually a good point as well. Because
mm,
even me, I struggle with positioning myself because I want to do a lot of stuff. I think that's
yeah,
also my
that's the thing
problem.
is we're interested in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And when I
Mm.
look at my practice, I like sketching on location.
you
There's
love
no way in hell. Because one of my curator friends asked me, like, why don't you make a bigger piece? Then we can maybe collaborate together. I was like, but it doesn't align with my practice. So I
it. Mm,
can't adjust. I even tried
exactly.
to partake on
Mm,
exhibitions and you realize it maybe it's just good to just try it out and see if it
mm,
works or not. But it didn't work out for me. So definitely those exhibition spaces
yeah,
not for what I like doing.
I also
A
don't
lot of
like
work
that.
is a lot of my work involves sketchbooks and sketching
Mm,
on that location. I like the
mm,
experience of on that location more.
mm,
So to me, I'm actually more moving forward to like self-publishing, like publishing zines and stuff. Like I like recording process. So I will definitely
mm,
not go for exhibition on the walls and stuff. It's
mm,
something that for us to think about how you want to position yourself as an artist or
mm,
the person who creates stuff. Like you need to find a way, unfortunately. And to me, I would think it like a goal setting. I said it like this, but I might not end up doing it because I know.
yeah,
So
but you have to start somewhere.
yeah, you need to somehow
Yeah.
make a peace with that. It's not gonna be perfect. That's why this Mandela chart that I produced in January
Mm,
actually do update after 3 months.
mm.
After 3 or 4 months, I check it again and
You
see,
review.
I revisit. That's why when you
Mm,
even do study, you still also need to do the art crits on your work. So it's
mm,
also help you to revisit maybe you're going to the right direction or not. That's why on my one of the goal, once I'm done the 50 sketches on end of February, I will
mm.
decide whether I should continue it or not.
Yeah.
It helps you to be a little bit more flexible, I think.
Mm,
So something that we have to self-regulate, I think.
mm. Now,
Oh,
a
okay.
few years back,
That's fine,
I
Barbara. Good to see you.
a few years back, I had like 10 or 11 paintings the December, and I thought that wasn't done for that year. And I thought, okay, I have to finish because we were taught to finish what we started. So, and afterwards, I realized when I started taking out those paintings, I'm no longer there. I'm no longer that person. I'm not interested in those. And I thought, well, I've actually thrown them all away. I didn't even repaint them or anything. I just threw them away because they were accusing me in the back of my head, like, why aren't I done? Because we've been taught to finish things that we've started. I no longer do that.
Me too.
I don't care if it's not done, it's not done. It's fine. So that's one of the things that I made peace with. I'm clearing out my studio now, and I've got like meter by meter and a half panels that I made or let Leon make for me so I can do abstracts on them. I'm no longer interested. I'm just going to get rid of them. I'm actually just going to get rid of them because they're accusing me. Every time I look at them, I think it is a failed project. And in fact, it's not. It's something that I tried out. It didn't work for me.
Yeah, we
I mean,
learn
it's
from
like
those.
buying a color that you don't like and you wear it and you think, you know what, this doesn't work for me. You give it away. I don't hang it in my cupboard and let it bother me.
Yeah, but
Get
that's
rid
a
of it.
very good question. Thank you. It's also
Yeah.
help us to think. Because self-regulation is tough, I think.
No, it is. It is tough. And you can change your goals. I think that's the thing is you
Yeah.
revisit the goal and say, did this goal actually work? Can I change it?
And I normally give
Yeah.
myself like a marshmallow. It's like a treat yourself. Even if it didn't succeed, you did
You showed up.
You showed up, you did some
I
action.
think that's important.
So
You showed up.
like when I say marshmallow, it could be something like lollipop, the frozen ice cream.
Whatever it is, it's a reward. You give yourself a
something
reward.
very nice.
Yeah.
It can be fancy pen.
It's normally a fancy pen, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's important. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it was fun session.
Mm.
Apologies for kicking everyone out.
It's fine.
Thank you.
Next month, we will sketch, right? Next
Yes.
session.
We'll sketch the next session. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.